WTH.
What the hell?
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 This is the WTH podcast.
Hold on to your butts.
Jason Casey. Kareem Daniels. And Nate Darling. From the Darling New Media Studios. This is the WTH podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the WTH podcast. No matter where you are watching us live on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, we're glad to have you along live. If you are downloading us, thank you so much for doing that. And if you are downloading us, you are most likely in India, so welcome. We have more listeners downloading our show in India than anywhere else in the world, which is humbling and interesting all at once. We also have a lovely bunch of listeners in Melbourne, Australia. Those are our two pockets of listeners. So there we go. Jason, how are you, my friend? Let's see. Can you unmute yourself, Jason?
There we go. I'm doing well. That's what I was trying to say.
Every goddamn time. Every time. Kareem, how are you?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good.
Excellent. Well, we have a very special guest, and I say special because we don't normally have a guest, so any guest is a special guest on the show. Joining us from Modesto, California, Ian Riley. Hello, Ian. How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. I feel bad now because I kept hitting you up for months. Hey, I want to come do this with you. I didn't know you didn't have guests. Now I just feel like the annoying kid going, "Can I play? Can I play?"
That's all good. It's not that we don't have guests. It's just I don't like booking guests. It's a pain in my ass. So
I booked myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. How do you think that's how Kareem got on the show?
Yeah.
That is literally how Kareem got on the show. We were doing stand-up one night at Luna's, and Kareem says to me, "You know what you need? You need more color on your podcast." And I said, "Well, do you want to come in?" And he said, "Yes." And
that was a good in. That was a solid in. Like, how do you argue that?
Right? And that was, and he, a few sets of hosts later, he is a regular on the show. Just to introduce Ian, he is a metal cutter. He has a little metal cutting business that he does on his free time. He's also the morning show co-host at KHOP at 95.1 FM, or is it K-Hop? How do you say that?
The jingle is KHOP at 95.1. Well, it's K-Hop. KHOP at 95.1. Modesto. We service Modesto, Stockton, Merced. So pretty much the San Joaquin Valley. But I grew up in your neck of the woods. I grew up in Newcastle. Went to Del Oro, Placer, Chan there. I went to like 5 high schools up there. That's why I'm down here.
Sure. Look, if you're working in radio, you're doing well because that's a tough business.
For now, for those of us that still have a job there, yeah, absolutely. It's tough right now. You watch the trades. I mean, you were in TV, you see the trades, you watch the trades now, and people are dropping left and right. We've just been really lucky to carve out a spot here where we haven't been touched yet, Not
only was I in TV, I was in radio too. I got out of radio I got out of radio and into the TV because I started looking around and went, wow, all of these companies are buying like 5-6 stations. So that means there's one staff for 5 stations. There aren't jobs for everybody.
No, there are not.
Yeah, it's it's only gotten worse.
We're an anomaly. Our building, and especially, we're all still working from home. None of us are back in the studio, but we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 local morning shows in our building, which is, you go across town and there's literally one person staffing the entire building, and everything's piped through. So we're all holding our breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, and we're all still feeling fortunate at the same time,
Well, that's good. Now, tell us a little bit about this side business you have. I've seen bits of it on Facebook. I know you cut metal in a design type of format. Talk a little bit about what you're doing, and if people, I don't know if you're taking orders right now or if you're just backed up with them.
Oh, that's cool for the plug, man. Thank you. My Facebook, I mostly do Amazon and Etsy, but my Facebook is Ian Made Stuff. But I have a little CNC plasma cutter that I got. Some company down in LA sells this little plasma cutter for like $1,500. Then you get a little knockoff Chinese plasma cutter that's cheaper than the rest of the stuff. And you're not going to set the world on fire and do a whole bunch of fine cuts. But I make these little metal hangers, and moms decorate their kids' rooms and buy the metal hangers, and I put their names on it and do my Amazon and Etsy with it. And everybody wants the little split letter monograms with the S cut in half and Smith in the middle and all the little floral prints around it. And, I mean, all of it bores the hell out of me, but people keep buying it. So I just keep selling it. And my wife likes it because I'm not inside. I'm out in the garage most of the time. So like it saves the marriage. Plus it makes a little bit of extra money.
There you go. If someone's looking for you, how do they find you on Amazon or Etsy?
mymetalhangers.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
So look it up, find it. Christmas is coming, and you may get your stuff by Christmas. You may not. It's a roll of the dice.
I didn't know I was going to come on and get a plug. I feel like I should be the My Pillow guy too. Do you want to go get a pillow in my bedroom? Because I can do all sorts of plugs.
If you put it over Jason's face.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I mean, also, I was in radio too. That's the only place my face would be allowed.
Where were you guys in radio? I didn't know you guys did radio. I know you're not from California, right, Nate?
I'm not. I'm from Vermont. I did radio in Vermont and upstate New York, and a little bit in Maine when I was in college. But yeah, small market radio. And my God, Jason, tell him where you were in radio.
I was in Joshua Tree, Gary Daigneault, Z1077. And I did the dedication hours on Friday nights from 10 to 2. And then I would do anytime there was holidays on the weekdays. I would fill in, of course, on those days. And when I was offered the afternoon drive, I was also acting at the same time at a community theater and had a starring role. And I was like, that's going to interfere with my acting. I'm 23 and like acting is where I want to be, not radio.
So that worked out well.
So what's the IMDb?
Jason, do you have an IMDb? I know you've been in some stuff. Oh, and he's gone.
Yeah. Damn it! Just when I was getting ready to get him.
Yeah, well, he'll be back. He'll be back in a minute. That was perfect timing. He's going to go make one right now. He's
this is where we get the printout of it, you know?
Right? He's like, shit, I got time to make one right now. It's like Wikipedia. So he'll be able to do that. Yeah, I was actually listening to the radio today, which I almost never do. And here in Sacramento, there's a station called the Eagle, 96.9. Anyway, they've got a midday guy named Bob Keller. And Bob does this midday show. And he has these weird promos where he has this rambling talk about how he came up with the idea, because he just themes music out. So today it was manly songs, and it was just songs with man in the title. Classic rock songs with man in the title, Iron Man, you know. But I do this impression of Bob Keller that's really very niche, because he just starts rambling. He goes, coming up today on the Blue Plate Lunch, it's Bob Keller, and I was watching some of my man on man adult films, and I was thinking that would be a good thing to have songs about real men being men. So that's coming up today at noon. And I'm not far off with that impression about what he does. There was one about he was playing the Beatles, and I was like, so I listened to he starts talking about it. I go, hey everybody, this is Bob Keller, and I was sitting in my backyard yesterday, and I looked over and I saw a little bug, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, so I went and looked a little closer, and I said, oh my goodness, it's a beetle. So today, coming up at noon on the Eagle, we're going to be playing music from the Beatles. And I feel bad because having done radio, I know what that's like to have to come up with a gimmick over and over and over again. And it is so soul-sucking. So I almost feel bad about making fun of him. Almost. Almost.
Because we could do better if we wanted to. I mean, at some point, you're just mailing it in. You're just putting a stamp on it and saying, I saw a TV today. Today, we're going to do songs that only reference TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
I did a thing called Office Olympics once, where you had to find 3 things in the office and fax it to me back when people still fax things. Right. And it got to the point where every day it was like a paperclip and a paperweight. And I mean, I did paperclip 3 days a week, because eventually you just run out of shit in the office to say to fax in.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. All right, well, let's get it. Thank you so much. I love the talk. So we've got the plugs in. We've got the talk. We know who everybody is. Jason, by the way, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, and before we get into the show, I want to say tomorrow, if you're watching this live, and right now literally no one is, but if you're watching this live, tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of Nate's Not Dead Day, which is only important to me because it marks the 20th anniversary of me getting hit by a car and surviving. So that was,
damn.
yeah. The guy I worked with who was on the EMT crew walks into work the following Monday, and he just gives me one of these. He goes, "You're the first person to get hit in that section of road and live."
Damn.
You got hit by a car?
I got hit by a car. I was changing my tire, and I had opened the driver's door so that they would see me instead of just crouching down to change the tire. And it was a 2-lane highway. And as I finished and I'm standing up, this lady who wasn't paying attention hits my car door, and it sort of pins me to the, not pins me, but pushes me toward the front fender of my car. And then as if imagine a bar of soap in your hands that's slippery that you just lose track of and it shoots out. That's what happened to me. I shot up over the hood of my car, and I remember like arching my back, and I could see her hitting her brakes as I'm arching up over, and I landed in front of the car on the shoulder. And luckily, my significant other at the time had gone to ask for help because there was a little garage right beside the road there, and she was on her way back. And it turns out some of the guys that were there were EMTs. So they're right there, like before, because I'm doing this mental check as I'm laying there. Can I feel everything? Yep. Does it hurt? No, not really. Can I wiggle my fingers and toes? Yep. Does my neck hurt? Nope. And just as I'm going through the mental checklist thinking, okay, now I'm going to get up, they're like, no, you're not getting up. So I got to ride in the ambulance and all that happy stuff. But other than a little bruise on my elbow and a cut on my cheek from where my window shattered, not injured at all.
Nice.
Holy smokes. Man, count your blessings. When you were in the air, did you at any point in time be like, swan dive? Or did you just lean right in and go for the ride?
It felt like it was in slow motion. And I just remember thinking, oh, shit. That was literally my inner monologue as I'm going through the air. And I could see her hit her brakes after she hit me. Like she had gone past my car, taken out the door, hit me before she hit her brakes.
Well, at least you stopped.
Is this where I stop? Is this a good time to stop? Do I keep going? Stop, blinker? No?
Yeah.
Hand signals.
It was an amazing time. And that happened 20 years ago, Tuesday, which was also 20 years after John Lennon got shot.
Wow.
So the 40th anniversary of John Lennon being shot and killed is also Tuesday. So it's just crazy.
What a shitty way to celebrate that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I would have went to a bar.
What type of cake do we get for you?
And, any kind of cake. I'm just happy to be here.
Roadkill stew.
Speaking of happy to be here, the Arizona legislature was not happy to be here. They're closed right now because many members were exposed to Rudy Giuliani, super spreader number one. I guess number two.
Number two.
As Trump is number one, he's also individual one. So Rudy was in Arizona. I remember things for an unofficial hearing on alleged election fraud. The Arizona GOP was also there, and there's a photo of them all together, huddled together with Rudy in the middle, and not a single one of them wearing a mask. Unfortunately, there are very few, if any, ICU beds available in Arizona right now. So bad time for bad news. Sorry. Yeah.
Or in America, ICU
Right.
beds are on a shortage right now. It's insane. It's insane right now. And if you guys ever came down to the valley, I know up in Sacramento, it's a mix up there between Sacramento and Roseville and Auburn. You got some liberal pockets and some conservative pockets. If you come down to Modesto's like 50-50, but then you go to the outlying towns of Oakdale, Riverbank, really good people out there, nice towns, also very conservative, also very much like my rights and don't trample on them. I'm going to walk around without a mask on.
My cousin lives in Oakdale, and he wouldn't let his wife. Like his wife can't comment on people's stuff like on Facebook because I mean, and like they didn't put out any yard signs or anything during the election, and you go down their street and it's like Trump every other house. It is what it is.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah, I do a lot of traveling down your way for work. And I've said this probably about 5 times on the podcast. I never see anybody with masks on down there. I've seen one person. I saw a lady in a convenience store with her mask on her chin, and the guy who owned the store had no mask at all. That's the only time I've seen a mask down there.
Yeah, I had to tiptoe into Hobby Lobby today, and I got in and out as quick as I could because like it was real 50-50 in there too, man. It's insane to me. I don't understand how people can still hang on to this whole it's a hoax. Like it's a global hoax. Like they're all in on it.
Yeah. Everybody's including the hospitals.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, I think it's just there's this pervasive want to believe that there's something else. I mean, like, because it's too easy to think that it's a random disease that's going around and it's killing people. I mean, my wife and I have talked about this like at length, and like it's easier to believe conspiracy theories because the real truth is so just ridiculous. I mean, it's just and just random. It's just the way it is, dude. It's just the way that it fucking is. I mean, and listen to the people that are educated on the fucking subject. Listen, if you want workers' compensation insurance, come talk to me. I know everything about it, and I'll make sure to get you a great rate. Come to talk to me about anything having to do with biology or the human body or anatomy. I'm going to tell you to my wife who has her PhD, in biology and genetics. You can talk to her. You know what I mean?
I talked to your wife, Jason, and you're right. You don't know anything about the body or where things are.
I don't.
Poor lady.
I don't. Like I'm like
how you
I'm
have
like
2
Ben
kids, we'll never know.
Yeah, like, I'm like Ben Shapiro. I'm like a wet ass what? No, yeah, you don't want that.
She was like, Jason, just lay down on the bed. Just lay down on the bed. I'll take care of it.
I just donated. That's it.
He got 2 kids because his pullout game isn't as strong as mine.
A broken clock is twice a day, man.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That was my nickname before my wife was put out.
All right. Well, let's kill the mood a little. Here's Lou Dobbs and some crazy shit.
She's former federal prosecutor, General Michael Flynn's defense attorney, a great American, and I know for a fact as busy as she can possibly be, working all hours of the day. Sydney, thanks for taking the time to be with us. Let me start by just saying this time is yours. Right now, this audience, most of America, wants to know, where are we in this fight for the White House?
Well, we are making great progress, Lou. We have one case in the court in Georgia that's getting ready to go to the 11th Circuit. We're going to ask.
Okay, we're done. They lost 6 cases in 6 states in one day. They have won. Why are they letting any court at any point anywhere at this? I mean, come on. and this is the lady that they tweeted out is not part of the Trump defense team, is not part of the Trump legal team, is not Donald Trump's personal attorney, and that she's practicing law on her own. And Lou Dobbs has her on Fox Business. I don't know who watches Fox Business. Anyway, Lou Dobbs has her on there and says, everything's yours. Just talk. It's like, are you fucking high? I don't do that.
That's the chick that Tucker was like, you don't have enough evidence for me to put you on. Like if she didn't have enough evidence for Tucker to put her on,
it's true.
I don't know what the fuck Lou's thinking.
Well, he thinks his hair looks good, so there's that.
Tucker was like, "I'll put you on. Just give me some evidence that what you're saying is true." And she got mad and was like, "Fuck you! I'm not telling you anything."
That's for me to know and for you to find out.
That's par for the course with her, though, right? I mean, she spent like the last 3 weeks saying we've got evidence and we're going to show the evidence. She gets on these things and she's like, Lou, we're going to show that Georgia is the biggest state in the world that's doing all the things. And we're going to file suits in Montreal and Quebec and Tennessee. And we're going to make sure that everybody knows that Dominion voting, along with Taylor Swift and 3 Oompa Loompas, is the real problem right now with the purple flabba dabba ding dong. Like, it makes no sense when she talks all the time.
Well, the frightening thing is she's a former federal prosecutor.
How?
All of her cases to be checked. Well,
Right?
Rudy was a former federal prosecutor.
It's true, but he's nuts.
He was an elected mayor during one of the worst times in our country's history. And he was beloved.
Well, yeah, because people didn't know. So Keith Olbermann is back on YouTube, and he did a video. He has a series of videos called Olbermann versus Trump. And he talked about Rudy Giuliani. And his point, as someone who lives in New York and has been a high-profile person in New York, is that Rudy Giuliani has been this nuts for 20-plus years. It's just we haven't been exposed to it. We never saw it. All we saw was him standing in the middle of the street after 9/11 and went, oh, that guy. And, of course, his record from the 80s prosecuting the mob, which he was a part of, but it wasn't like it was a one-man show. It's not like, oh, it was just Rudy and nobody else. So
okay, this is another case of white people. You should listen to black people when you tell y'all about y'all crazy people.
Wasn't Rudy stop and frisk? Wasn't he stop and frisk?
No,
he was. No, that was
or was that L.A.?
No, that was New York. That came much later.
Yeah, okay. That was
Rudy was load all the homeless onto a bus and don't tell anybody.
Bloomberg
yeah.
did the Bloomberg was the stop and frisk, but Giuliani was the broken windows guy. Like he was the broken windows guy in the 80s that probably gave so much. Like there is some stuff. He knew Trump. Like Trump bought a lot of his real estate, and Giuliani was like there was. It's under the underbelly there when it comes to it is beautiful.
So, and I'm not a James Wood fan, but how do you get James Woods to play? Like that never made sense to me. Appearance wise, demeanor wise, like everything about that. Like Danny DeVito, maybe James Woods.
Well, James Woods is a conservative kook, so there's that. So
well, Rudy thinks he's Henry Kissinger. Like.
You're a loudmouth schnook.
It's closer to the reality of it all.
Oh man,
I'm heavy on the sounds. You know why?
I am a professionally trained radio DJ.
That's true. 3 of us are.
Oh man,
broadcasting professionals. Speaking of broadcasting professionals, if you happen to turn on CNBC, you got this.
Which is the easiest answer, is necessarily the only answer.
Rick, I just as a public health and public service announcement for the audience, the difference between a big box retailer.
Who is this?
Hold on. The difference between it's Andrew.
Who else?
The difference between a big box retailer. Hold on. The difference between a big box retailer and a restaurant, or frankly even a church, are so different. It's unbelievable. Going into a big box retailer,
I disagree.
You're wearing
You can
a mask.
have your thoughts and I
You're
can have mine.
You're required to wear a mask.
I disagree.
It's science. I'm sorry. It's science. If you're wearing a mask,
science.
it's a different story.
500 people at a Lowe's aren't any safer than 150 people in a restaurant that holds 600. I don't believe it. So
why are there 500 people in the Lowe's?
What restaurant holds 600?
Well, if you pack them in close enough.
Okay, again, for work, I'm in Home Depot and Lowe's a lot. It's not 500 people. It's not even 100 people.
No, this is a very angry.
And let's see the ceilings in there. How high do the ceilings go in there? I mean,
Oh, they're 20-foot ceilings, easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, And is it ventilate? Like there's a lot of open doors and breezes and things of that nature. Okay, all right. So
yeah,
and also nobody that's in Home Depot or Lowe's wants to be there in the first place. So you're usually in and out. so like, but I mean, church, you're there for fucking 4 hours, depending on which church you go to.
And restaurants too.
Yeah.
You're there for a good amount of time.
So get the fuck out of here with this shit, fucking assholes.
Just watching CNBC. By the way, these are two clips from Fox Business and CNBC. People are watching this to get like stock quotes and see what's going on in the markets, and you're getting all these fights. Meanwhile, over on
I just can't fucking like. People need to watch where the fucking money is and listen to people that deal with money, because I deal with insurance. And if you saw how much fucking shit they send us on COVID-19 daily and how fucking worried all these fucking people are about it, when the Hartford's worried about it, when the Travelers is worried about it, when AmTrust is worried about it, when Aon is worried about it, when these people that have billions of fucking dollars at stake are telling people like, hey, we're giving you back some money. When they're giving back premium to people, listen to what the fuck they're saying.
And here's the deal.
Like, fucking seriously, like
insurance adjusters aren't leaving the fucking office right now. At all. No. They're not leaving the office at all right now. They're not going on job sites. They're not going to look at claims. They're not doing any of that shit right now. That should be what tells you what's going on.
Like, I mean, if you're not going to listen to the fucking like who are you going to listen to? Just fucking like who are people listening to? Like these fucking idiots. Sorry.
So my takeaway is now is a good time to file a claim and not expect them to come out and look at it.
They're not coming out to look at it.
Yeah.
I think my car just got dinged. Did you hear that?
Just make sure you get the license plate number of the vehicle.
License plate number, and take a picture and send it to them. They are not coming.
Yeah. Some guy you don't like down the street, take a picture of it and say, "This is the guy that hit me."
This motherfucker 3 times this week.
I did not say that as a licensed insurance professional.
One of these days off camera, I'll have to tell you guys about my traumatic accident for my transmission.
Oh
damn.
I'm looking forward to that. Jason got scared away there for a moment. He's gone to update his LinkedIn now. So on Twitter, this is where it started, and the hashtag Diaper Dawn. And you're thinking, well, it was on Twitter. How's it going to end up anywhere else? Well, it ended up on CNN.
And in these 35 days, Trump has also spent a lot of time on social media. Not talking about COVID. No. Here's an example. On Thanksgiving Day, a day when 1,232 American deaths from COVID were reported, Trump accused Twitter of sending out, quote, false trends. So I remember that. I said, well, what is he talking about? Well, guess what was trending at that time? Top trend was the hashtag Diaper Dawn, which I suppose was because he was, sitting at this desk, right? So people did that. So Trump was upset by something as absurd and silly as Diaper Dawn trending on Twitter. So upset that he went on to tweet that Twitter trends were made up, and then even, by the way, threatened to veto a bill including raises for American military troops to try to repeal an obscure rule applying to Twitter that's in the same bill. That's how upset he was.
So if you're going to make all of your policy announcements on Twitter, all of your tweets are going to be scrutinized that way. Haha.
And I loved how many times she mentioned the word Diaper Dawn.
She was trying not to enjoy it too much.
And when you shit yourself, that's what happens. I mean, just like people are going to find out eventually.
Yeah, if you were listening to last week's show, we had the former Apprentice staffer who claims that Trump wears adult diapers all the time and shits himself on the regular. They're not suing him. Trump sues everybody, so it's weird.
But then you also have Donald Trump playing tennis where you can see his tighty whities. And so you got to wonder if he pre-games, like he knows I'm going to be playing tennis today, so I'm going to hold off on that burrito until afterwards,
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah, no, he definitely holds off on the KFC before the tennis game.
Yeah, he knows what's going to happen.
He has not played tennis since Obama's first term. That is an old photo, and he is not going out again.
He's not moving.
He ain't
like
risking
that.
No,
he should never wear anything white below the waist ever.
It's true. Before or after Labor Day, whenever. None of it.
None of it.
Absolutely not. It's absolutely inexcusable. All right, I know we've been on Twitter a lot, but I have this whole segment. I don't have any elements for it, so I'm sorry about that.
I know it.
But this is what I like to call dumb shit on Twitter. And we start with Representative Jim Jordan, who is a representative from the great state of Ohio. He tweets, Dr. Fauci says Americans should avoid travel over the holidays. What will he cancel next? Saying Merry Christmas? Okay.
I mean, if you're going to say it without a mask and within like a foot of somebody, yes.
There's a lot to unpack here. First of all, I'm done being mad at Jim Jordan. We know who he is. I'm mad at the people in Ohio that keep sending him back to Washington. This is on you, assholes. You keep voting him back in. So let's unpack this one by one. Dr. Fauci says Americans should avoid travel over the holidays. What will he cancel next? Has Dr. Fauci canceled anything?
Unfortunately, no.
Does he have the power to cancel anything?
Again, unfortunately, no.
Okay. So then we randomly throw the war on Christmas into the back end of this tweet just because.
You know, I'm a Jew, and I can say right now that when I go to Target or Walmart, we get an end cap. All y'all get 3-4 fucking aisles of Christmas stuff. We get an end cap.
Mm-hmm.
You guys get an elf on the shelf. We get a mensch on the bench. Like, there's no war on Christmas.
It's a knockoff. It's a knockoff.
It is a knockoff. And he's not watching my kids to make sure that they're good. He's just sitting there. He's lazy as shit.
He's doing a good deed by watching the kids, all right? Watching what's happening. It's all good. He's being a nice guy.
I'm so tired of that war on Christmas, on Christmas argument, you know? Like, there's no war on Christmas.
There isn't. If you think there's a war on Christmas, you haven't turned on the radio because they start with Christmas music like in October now.
The only time I've ever felt like there was any semblance of anything besides Christmas was when I was in New York City. When I lived in New York City over Christmas, like, because there's a lot more Jewish people in New York. So they decorate appropriately, all the businesses, which is awesome.
Those were very bad times.
It scarred me.
We got a Christmas tree right now, and our Christmas tree has a star. Like, we coexist. I have a Star of David on top of mine, and she has her Christmas tree. But you know, and Hanukkah. I mean, to be fair, Hanukkah is like the least important holiday for Jews. You know, but there's so many more important holidays. But I also know there's no war on Christmas because as a Jew, I still get a shit ton of Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a win-win.
Exactly.
It's a win-win. So, more stupid shit from Twitter. There's a report that a poll watcher in Michigan testified in front of a congressional hearing in Michigan that a Black Lives Matter people wore rhinestones and that this was a problem for her.
Were they ethically sourced?
You know, and then a man who looks a little like the Ultimate Warrior if he were still alive and had a big white Santa beard sat down, swore himself in, and started talking about his internet radio show. And I know from experience there's nothing worse than someone talking about their internet radio show. You can get ours wherever you get your podcasts. He went on to say in his experience hosting an internet radio show that he saw the voting machines connected to a router. Where were you doing your internet radio show? At the polling place? I mean, what were you doing?
Also, like who does... Sorry, go.
There's more. There's more. Please hold. I need to get through this. He is now crying because he needs proof the votes are valid. Not that they were fraudulent or that they will not accept the results. And he is now getting applause. That is the live tweet.
Oh, my God.
Go on. You were saying. I had to finish that second. I couldn't leave that hanging.
This is happening right now, guys. This is fucking happening right now. Like, legit, like, people are going home and having conversations like this is a serious, real thing. How?
Yeah.
Dude, I have a coworker who believes all of this shit. It's like talking to a crackhead. Literally. He asked me, he texted me to send him a picture of Joe Biden without his walking boot, because he thinks Joe Biden has an ankle monitor.
Oh yeah, that's the new one. Joe Biden's got an ankle monitor because he's a criminal.
Is that what comes after they realize that children aren't being transported in Wayfair furniture?
Yes.
Like that's the progression?
Yeah,
that's the progression.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Just checking.
That is the progression.
Yeah.
If you say it often enough, people will start to believe it. And I know that because I say it very often on this, the world's most popular podcast. The world's most popular podcast. Meanwhile, I thought I was done hearing from Michelle Bachmann forever. But no, she popped up on my Twitter this week.
Moment in the United States, we seriously, sincerely cry out to you, confessing our personal sins. We confess the sins of our country as proxies. We ask you, oh God, for deliverance, that our country may continue to know freedom. Lord, would you deliver these races in Georgia, oh Father? Would you deliver various local and state races, Father, that they aren't stolen? Would you give us a true vote? And oh God, I personally ask from myself, Michelle Bachmann, Lord, would you allow Donald Trump to have a second term as president of the United States?
Go fuck yourself. Say it again. Go fuck yourself.
Did she ask God for forgiveness for pegging her husband?
I mean, that's between them. I don't know that she needs forgiveness for that. Whatever, man.
There was a time in my life when my dad was alive where he was into Michelle Bachmann, and my wife is named Michelle. And when she was rolling around, it was my dad's a very old conservative. He was born in 1934. And so his whole thing was, well, why wouldn't you like her? She's a woman. It was okay. My wife is very, very, very liberal. And that was one of those conversations. Well, just because she's a woman doesn't mean that I like her, but I thought we were done with her. I didn't know she was still popping up.
Right? It was like a whack-a-mole game for me. I'm like, where does this... I mean, granted, it was a tweet that said, this is some weird shit, but still.
I just... getting back on Twitter, that means if you get it on Twitter, that means I get it on Twitter now, pretty much. If you're... And I'm just wondering if I made the right choice.
Well, look, you can be included in our conversations.
Yeah, no, I thank you. I need to figure out how to unsubscribe to Adam Carolla because it pisses me off every fucking day that I was so into that dude.
Do you still get the emails?
No, I don't get the. No, I'm still attached. I still subscribe to his Twitter. I need to unsubscribe it. So, I see his tweets all the time.
Well, that's on you.
I know. I just need to block it.
What's really irritating to me is when I see tweets from idiots like Charlie Kirk that I do not follow, and I see them all the time. I actually tweet at Twitter. I do not follow this person. Why does he keep popping up in my feed?
I have a love-hate with Twitter.
Yeah,
I have a love-hate with Twitter because when I get on there, I'll tweet because I'm not very Twitter savvy. So I'll tweet something, and then because two of you have been in radio, that we thrive on being validated by people we don't know, and so I'll tweet something, and then 10 seconds will go by, and nobody will heart it or retweet. I'm like, fuck this about, So I'll go back and forth. I'll stay off of it for a couple of months, and then I'll be super into it, and then I'll take it off for another couple of months. But I have a love-hate with Twitter because it moves so quick that I can't follow some storylines, and I have to go through and I have to look through somebody's page, and it's like the most old man thing I'm ever going to say. But Twitter moves too fast for me.
I touched you guys' balls at Hebrew school once.
Look, I've got a sound for everything.
Yeah, fuck Michelle Bachmann.
God, please deliver us the races. Please give Donald Trump a second term. I was like, no.
I love that in all of these recounts. So they've recertified Georgia again.
Yes.
There was they did another recount, and every recount, Joe Biden gets more votes. It's like, yeah, you're right. We didn't count right. Joe got more votes.
And the fraud seems to be coming from the conservative votes. You keep hearing about these backwoods dudes that are putting down like dead mom's name on a ballot.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, not widespread fraud, but I don't see a whole lot of, it's the same thing. My mom pulled the whole, you know, how could he not win? Have you seen all the flags? Like she bought into that, you know, it's insanity right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, Ian, because you're in radio, that what is it? 3% of your audience are the ones that you'll ever hear from. Like 97% of the people listening, you will never hear even a positive thing from. They're just going to casually listen and go about their lives.
You can tell your mom from me that black people don't put flags in their yards.
That was, you know what? That was,
That's right.
it was such an odd conversation because she just kept going on. She lives up in Rockland and she goes, I went by the Costco and I must have seen 600 flags. And if that doesn't tell you who won, then I don't know what does, because our property taxes are going to go up by 65%. The flags, Ian, I don't even want to talk to you right now. Okay.
You didn't hip her to the fact that the property taxes are set at the state level?
No, there was so much to unpack with what she was saying that it was just one of those, you just nod your head and you're like, it might be dementia.
Yeah, see, Jason and I, in addition to doing radio, have done a lot of improv. So that's the type of thing that both of us would pick up on and just be like, hey, your property taxes, those are set at the state level, so I don't even know what you're talking about. And it just throws them off into a complete, like, tizzy about whatever else, because it's like, look, if that part of what you're saying is wrong, what else of what you're saying is wrong? Clearly, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's where they pivot. That's where they get really good at pivoting, because once you go into all of the president's faults, then they pivot from the president to just the damn liberals.
Yeah,
sure.
So there's just no winning. You could point out every single thing that they've done wrong, and that backfire effect kicks in, and they dig in even deeper. And then once they realize they're backed into a corner, then it's not that. Then it's just all the liberals that won't let them do it.
Yes.
Why are you so angry? Is the next question.
Me?
Do you need a hug? No, that's what that's where I go with any conservative. I'm like, so why do you need a hug? Is that what's going on here? Did you not get enough hugs when you were younger?
For a group of people that like to make fun of us for our safe spaces, they get pretty offended pretty easily.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Well, you can't call them out on anything.
Well, you can.
You can just be prepared. And if it's a family member, I mean, listen, then you won't hear from them on your birthday. So that's cool.
Yeah.
we went by Thanksgiving. We're still, the jury's still out on Christmas. So, but Thanksgiving went by and it was a video chat with the kids. But I think Christmas will be staying in Modesto.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the safest thing anyway. It's a COVID Christmas. Merry COVID Christmas. Meanwhile, Marie Saravo can't go anywhere without everybody knowing her business. See, she was 1,000 miles from her home in Naples, Florida, at a home goods checkout line last month when a woman recognized her strong Philadelphia accent and said, "How about that landscaping company?" And she said, "I am that landscaping company." And now, when Saravo, who's 65, goes to work at the unassuming one-story red brick industrial building on State Road, home to Four Seasons Total Landscaping for the last 20 years, not a day goes by where there's not a crowd outside. So there's a lot more to this Philadelphia Inquirer story, but I need to know why anybody is going to Four Seasons Total Landscaping. Look, I got the street view on Google and I'm good.
They want a picture where it all happened. The room that it happened.
That's the handicap parking spot where they set up.
Right off the alley.
Well, you can get those special Juliana dildos. Dildos across the
wow, street. That is it. Considering your past dating history, that is a Freudian slip, my friend. A Juliana dildo, you say?
And you know that some of them are actually going to the landscaping company to go to the dildo company.
Yeah, sure. Or the crematorium.
Or the crematorium.
Landscaping or dildos? I can't tell. Hey, real talk. I I'm probably going to buy a shirt or a sweater from them just because that was so comically terrible. And I think that I know that in the article they said they stayed partisan, or they stayed on partisan, but I want one of those sweaters. Like, that was so comically insane that I want a Four Seasons Total Landscaping sweater. I just do, or a coffee mug or something.
I mean, they honestly could make a mint off of this if they just start like a Zazzle store or something.
They're probably like, we just want to cut some lawns, people. Like,
dude, it's Philadelphia in December. Yeah. There are no lawns to cut.
Well, I know, exactly. They have fucking hella costs still. They have to pay for the land, the rent, all the other stuff.
Look, I saw where their land is. Money. If they're paying more than $1 a square foot for that place, they're paying too much.
They need an OnlyFans account where like all of them are just like draped in grass clippings and leaves and stuff. That's the premium content. That's the premium content.
That's the premium content.
Oh my goodness.
It's a fun time in Philadelphia, man. In Georgia, not so much fun. In fact, the Republicans who are running the state of Georgia are not having a good time at all.
It has all gone too far. All of it. Joe DeGenova today asked for Chris Krebs, a patriot who ran CISA, to be shot. A 20-something tech in Gwinnett County today has death threats and a noose put out saying he should be hung for treason because he was transferring a report on batches from an EMS to a county computer so he could read it. It has to stop. Mr. President, you have not condemned these actions or this language. Senators, you have not condemned this language or these actions.
Spoiler alert, they haven't still. Even after this, went viral. Not a word. Not a single word from any of them.
But has he conceded yet?
No. Because that's when the grift has to end. That's the whole thing. This is all a grift. He is raising money, and one of the fun things to find out is anything under $5,000 does not go to the legal defense fund or the protect our election stuff. No, it goes to this weird PAC. It's called the Leadership PAC. I learned about this on the Lincoln Project podcast. It's called the Leadership PAC, and any money that goes to a leadership PAC, the person who runs it can essentially do whatever the hell they want with it. It's insane that that's actually legal, but it is. And so they're doing it. So all these people who are saying, I'm defending the election, aren't defending the election. They're throwing money in Donald Trump's coffers so he can defend himself from New York State, the city of New York, whomever else might be suing or throwing him in jail afterward, or just to try and pay down his somewhere north of $500 million in debt. And it's all perfectly legal, so kudos, because it's rare that that's what he's doing. But it's all a grift. Once he concedes, he can't throw it out there saying, I need your help to fight for this election. So that's never going to happen.
And then, never. He has to keep the looks up on it. Sorry, but also the other thing too is like this is the grift, right? We're in like the third act of the sting right now. Like the second act was the ending. It was the election where you think that like all is lost, but we're actually in the part where it actually happens. This is the final act of the sting, baby.
And then before we came on, I saw that he's planning a big event on Inauguration Day where he flies from the White House to Florida to a big rally while Joe Biden's inauguration is going on.
Here's what needs to happen. Joe Biden, now they better time this so that he is on the ground in Florida before Biden gets sworn in. Because Joe Biden, that hand should come off the Bible, right onto the cell phone and go turn the plane around. Yeah. Bring my plane back.
Yes.
And then he goes up on the plane and he yells in a Harrison Ford-like manner, "Get off my plane." That's how I see it playing out.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That would be a strong flex to be able to get inaugurated and have that power just as it's coming into like Naples. It's like, nope, got to go back that way.
I guarantee that's like a standing order. One of his people has that lined up. Go, oh, he's planning to do this, eh? Well, He better get there before we're done. So, meanwhile, Fox News has fallen out of favor with some of the nutty people in Georgia.
Fox News does not call the election. Why? No, why did y'all turn on everybody?
The people are yelling at Fox News.
We trusted you.
We trusted you and called them traitors.
Traitors!
This is where we are. Fox News is being called traitors.
Oh, man.
Chicken's coming home to roost.
Yeah, it's a bad time.
That's so funny. Like,
it's really good.
That's funny. Like, I mean, like, let's say like Fox loses a third to half of all the people that watch them, right? And they go over to OAN or what's the other one?
Newsmax.
Newsmax, yeah. They all go over to that one. Like, all of a sudden, they're no longer the leader. That's awesome. I hope so much. Like, yeah, exactly. Chicken's coming home to roost, baby.
What's weird is they lost a bunch of viewers to Brazzers.
I don't know what that is.
Sure you don't.
Yeah, sure. The fact that you said that you don't know what that is means that you know what it is. I don't know what that one is, man.
I don't know what that or Bang Bus is.
So we were watching Saturday Night Live when they said that, and my girlfriend was like, "What's that?" I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Why don't you look it up?
So after the people decided to yell at Fox News and call them traitors, well, this guy showed up and started lying.
I'll be right back.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Melania. And I want to say hello, Georgia. We did a great job. You know, we won Georgia, just so you understand.
You didn't.
You didn't, dude.
No. Just so you understand.
Wait,
you
what?
Didn't.
He didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We mentioned the war on Christmas. Well, so did he.
Let me begin by wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. Remember the word?
Yeah.
Remember? We started 5 years ago, and I said you're going to be saying Christmas again, and we say it proudly again, although they'll be trying to take that word again out of the vocabulary. We're not going to let them do that.
What are you talking about?
He's have to be punched out each day.
Okay.
I'm interested in that conversation.
Right? Yeah, Kareem's on a phone call. I mean, he didn't mute himself for nothing. Took his headphones off. He's like, all right, let's do it.
Let me settle in here. Grab a pen and paper. Let me take some notes.
He's like Giuliani calling a reporter from his pants. That's Again, I don't forget things. Maybe I'll forgive, but I do not forget at all.
Did you put Kareem on mute finally?
I didn't. Oh wait, I can do that. There we go. I've just muted Kareem.
It looks like he's texting right now.
Yeah, he's not paying attention.
Nope. And if you're paying attention to home, he's up and walking to the right and out the door.
Yeah.
We'll see him later.
Yeah, I'm sure it was important. Look, this is a podcast. This isn't a radio show. People do this. This happens all the time.
Oh man, it's much better when they can see me get up to go get some coffee.
My studio is out in the garage. Like I have the kind of studio where when my boss asks me if I can cut something, I'm like, I can absolutely cut something as soon as the spin cycle's done. But I've got like a little kettle out here, and I've got a little water cooler back there. Like I need to get some of that artificial turf and some lawn chairs, and like
Nice.
I'm pretty much almost moved into my garage right now. So that's the world we live in now, right? The work at home world.
It is, and having a business, I actually have a business, but because of COVID, we've changed our protocols. So if you are in our studios now, you have to wear a mask even when you're recording. And I'm like, well, I can do the show from home. It was just going to be me there anyway. So Jason's been doing this remotely since the pandemic started. Kareem's been in and out of the studio, but it didn't make any sense. I've already said, look, we're in the purple. Everybody just stay at home and do it that way. So I'm sitting at the dining room table with the Christmas tree. That's right, Trump. You won. Christmas tree.
God damn it. Hey, Nate.
Yeah, Christmas tree.
You get that Christmas tree because of him, because he waged the war on Christmas. You now have that Christmas tree. You're welcome. So
can I just come over?
That tree is as fake as the war on Christmas, by the way.
Can I just come over and just sniff your tree? I don't have one yet. Just need a little tree. Just need
Well,
a little tree.
You can
just need a little tree.
You can sniff it, but it's plastic. It doesn't smell like anything.
Can I just stand with my back to it and run my fingers through the and the needles just to really get the feel of it, and explore the space of the tree.
Man, I'm in Oak Park, man. It's still no out here, man. You're not allowed to have a tree. You notice my lights are blue. So yeah.
Interesting. So one more thing. This is a quick hit from Trump. This tweet just is very confused by whatever Trump might be talking about. It's very quick, so let's pay attention.
People, they don't like guns because it's not painful enough. They like using knives. It's true. They don't like guns. They'd rather cut somebody up.
100% of the time on forensic files, the person that uses the knife gets caught because they cut themselves and leave a pool of blood.
Yeah. I believe he's talking about I don't know what he's talking about there.
Oh man.
I don't know.
MS-13, obviously.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I said that was going to be the last one. I kept scrolling down, and God bless Aaron Rupar, who actually clips out these things so that we can take it in small chunks, because that's literally the only way I can take this.
Extreme left will pack the Supreme Court with 24 radical justices. That's the last number I heard. I used to hear it was 16. Now it's up to 24. Pretty soon you'll have another Congress. 24 radical justices instead of 9 justices that we have right now. And they want them to revolve up and down the court system so that Supreme Court justices can spend time in other locations down the totem pole.
What is he even talking about? I can't wait for those 15 extra justices, though, man. I mean, I'm so looking forward to that. That's awesome.
I still maintain, if he were standing on a street corner wearing tattered clothes, yelling this across the street, you would go, "Shut up, you crazy hobo." There would be no way anybody would take him seriously. Absolutely not. He's wearing this giant red tie that goes halfway down his thigh, and he's standing behind a podium. So people are like, "Oh yeah, well that makes sense." Like, what?
It's insane. It is absolute insanity. I mean, 24 Supreme Court justices. I thought it was going to be 30.
I thought it was going to be 78.
Yeah,
like,
don't shortchange me.
Yeah, soon there's going to be a whole new Congress. It's like, what are you talking about, you crazy old man? Yeah. So that was the loser rally, and at the loser rally, you mentioned, Ian, earlier in the show, the MyPillow guy, and of course the MyPillow guy, Mike Lindell, who used to be a very heavy drug user, but isn't anymore. I want to emphasize that he's not a heavy drug user anymore. He had some things to say.
How do you not put people in prison? But the most, they will be going to prison. But in the meantime, December 14th is so important. We have to get this governor in here. Governor Kemp, Brian Kemp, has to give an order to have a Congress meeting or whatever they do, their legislators, and pull Georgia down and don't give it to Biden. It doesn't matter who they give it to. Don't give it to Biden. Just and find out all your corruption. Because if you pull down Georgia, Pennsylvania, and crooked Nevada, now nobody has 270, and then it goes to the December 14th vote, and Donald Trump wins the election.
Wow, I love your passion and motivation.
How do you?
Oh my God. Oh my
I
God.
love your passion and motivation is the response from the I'm going to say reporter wearing a Make America Great Again hat. I mean, he's even lost at this point.
That's one of those, like when you watch Dancing with the Stars and you have like an iconic figure like Buzz Aldrin, who was on like 10 years ago, and Buzz Aldrin sucks at dancing. The dude's like 100, right?
Yeah.
But you push him through the first night, and when he gets in front of the judges, you're like, hey, I love that you were so brave and came out here and tried so hard. And and did you dress yourself this morning? That's what I feel like when they're talking to him. It's like, hey, guy, wow, that's nuts. But I love your passion. Who's the dude that sells that spray that he sprays the screen door and then puts it on the bottom of his boat? Can he come there and just spray Mike Lindell's mouth shut? Like, Jesus, man.
No, because that's
Seal.
Billy Mays, and he's dead.
Oh, you know what? That's why Mike Lindell quit doing the drugs. He was like, oh shit, Billy died. Call the cops. I was never here. And then he quit, and he was like, I got to get clean.
Yeah. It's a interesting time to be alive, isn't it?
I almost bought a MyPillow at Costco one time a few years ago too. I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I did it.
Right. There's nothing worse than when they say don't meet your heroes, Ian. They say don't meet your heroes. And I guess that would be the way to do it. Sorry.
Pete Rose was mine and I accidentally met him. Never again.
Oh my God. I was watching, if you haven't watched a closer look on YouTube, or if you watch NBC, it's on there too. Seth Meyers does a closer look on the Late Night. That's the one he's the host of. Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends has a Pete Rose analogy that he uses that's absolutely completely bonkers. So I urge you to check that out. All right.
Absolutely will.
I'm sad Kareem is not here because it's time for this.
And now it's time for the airing of the fucking grievances.
All right, Jason, what's been chewing at your craw?
Oh man, so I'm a huge gamer. That's my thing. Aside from improv, everything okay? Everything all right? Okay, no, all right.
Yeah, it's all good.
Sorry, I've been having audio issues over here. If you couldn't tell. So Cyberpunk 2077 comes out on Friday, which is this amazing role-playing game on the Xbox, the PlayStation, computer PCs. My cousin, so I digitally downloaded it, all right? So I have it ready to go. I'll be able to play it at 9 p.m. on Thursday. Totally looking forward to it. But because I have the digital version of it, all right, I can't play it until then. My cousin bought it from Best Buy, and they accidentally sent all the copies out. So he's had it since last. When there was a game on sale, and I bought it for him. I was like, "Hey, dude, we can play this together until Cyberpunk comes out." The day that I bought it for him, he gets home, and the game was there. And he's been playing it ever since. So I have another game that I'm playing by myself. Like, man, Borderlands 3, by the way, is the game I just bought. It was on sale for $20. Super fun game.
What system?
I play Xbox. I'm an Xbox guy. But there's some games that I played that are cross-platform. No Man's Sky is a game that I totally love. So if you're on PlayStation, hella dope. And we can talk later about games if you're a gamer. But anyhow, so that's my grievance right now is just with fucking Best Buy breaking the fucking street fucking date. All right. Fucking hated it when I worked at the warehouse or at Blockbuster or Hollywood Video all those years ago. And somebody would break the fucking street date and start selling fucking Jerry Maguire on fucking Sunday evening when they got their fucking shipment in or whatever it was. And they're unpacking. Like, oh, let's put the standee out. And they fucking put a standee out with Jerry Maguire. Now everybody's buying fucking Jerry Maguire at Target and your fucking sales are going down because everybody fucking has it. They go, I want bitch. And like you gave out these fucking deals where like you're like giving 5 free rentals to people for buying a $20 version of fucking Jerry Maguire and they get it for $15.99 at Target and come back like, oh, I don't want it now. Fuck all of them and fuck Best Buy for breaking the street date. And then I would say fuck my cousin, but I love him and he's a good guy and I'd be doing the same thing if I had it. But yeah, fuck Best Buy.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Yo, you made my heart warm right there.
Oh, no,
fuck Best Buy.
No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, screw that. Screw Best Buy. Ian, oh my God! Breaking news: Chuck Yeager has died at 97.
Wow, I didn't know he was still alive.
Right, that literally just came across at the speed of sound to my iPad. Yeah, Chuck Yeager.
Speed of sound. I get it.
You broke news on the WTH podcast, man.
It happens all the time. It's crazy what happens on this show. This show is a hidden gem, and that's a lot to say for the world's most popular podcast. So, since Kareem is still off dealing with whatever he's dealing with, Ian, let me play it for you.
And now it's time for the airing of the fucking grievances.
What's been bothering you, my friend?
See, man, you put me on the spot on this one because I actually have a podcast that's on hiatus right now called That's Delightful. And we finish up every episode with a segment called What We Find Delightful. So like, this is literally the exact opposite. So you're asking me to go against everything I know. So I don't have anything sexy per se, but to piggyback off of Best Buy, also fuck Best Buy, because we had a really nice plasma TV that I accidentally knocked my my broom into. I didn't know this about plasma TVs, but I guess if you break the spot behind the glass, you're up shit alley and you're not coming back. And so the Geek Squad came out, took one look at it, still under warranty. Everything is under warranty on that TV, except for that garbage behind the glass. And if that breaks at all, there is no warranty. And that's the only goddamn thing that can go wrong with that TV, except for a couple of little electrical things. So I just took to the recyclers like a $400 TV the other day that we had for about 2 months because Best Buy was like, oh yeah, no, you have the warranty. Thank you for buying the extended plan, but not for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That does suck. Fuck
so
Best
insurance man, I tried to call my insurance company and I tried to claim that I was vandalized from a house party and they wanted me to make a police report. And I'm like, oh, I don't know who to make the police report on, man. There was like 40 people here. And then they were like, well, there's 40 people. Yeah. Then I realized how stupid I sounded because we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm trying to say I had 40 people over to a house where I shouldn't have them and that they broke my TV. They saw right through it. You guys are so smart.
Yeah, it's not like you were in Oakdale or something.
Oakdale, bud.
Kareem, are you back with us?
Yeah.
All right, just
having
go on.
Having a little technical glitch, but I'm back for a minute.
All right, well, then.
And now it's time for the airing of the fucking grievances.
What's been chewing at you?
Liberal black people. Or progressive, not liberal, progressive black people are acting like Ice Cube when it comes to this defunding the police bullshit. It was a bad slogan. Take the L, move the fuck on. Like, stop acting like Obama said something out of pocket that he said he didn't support what you really meant. It was a bad slogan. I'm from the South. My mom is 81 years old with a flip phone. You have to tell her exactly what the fuck you mean. All those black people that voted for Joe Biden, that kicked Bernie Sanders' ass in the South, you have to tell them exactly what you mean. I had one chick was like, well, you can give her this book. Like, no, if I have to give her a whole fucking book to read, your slogan did not work. Your messaging is off. If I had to give her an entire book to read to explain what you're meaning, you have bad messaging. You should own that shit and move on. Own it, fix it, move fuck on.
Fair. Very, very fair. All right, here's what I got.
And now it's time for the airing of the fucking grievances.
Okay. I want to talk about my phone for a moment. My phone's been pissing me off. Now, I don't know if it's my phone or the fact that I've got virus protection on my phone from McAfee, and it's McAfee that's got me pissed off. But there's a VPN now on my phone that turns itself on, and I turn it off, and it turns itself back on, and I turn it off. When the VPN is on, oftentimes I can't get any data, which is irritating for a number of reasons, because, it's not just a phone. I need to see stuff. And the other thing is, Waze doesn't work anymore for me. Now, Google Maps works great. Waze doesn't work. says not connected. Here's the fun part. You know who owns Waze? Fucking Google. Google owns Waze. Google Maps works. Waze does not work. Fuck my phone. Fuck Google.
Did you hear that Google Maps? I haven't looked at the update or seen this yet, but Google Maps is also now incorporating ride sharing into their features, as far as like being able to see what is available or what's near.
I haven't noticed that in what I'm doing. That may be something you click on. Google Maps is fine. The other thing I have a small grievance with is when my 99 Jeep broke down on Friday, it took 4 hours to get a tow truck out. 4 hours.
Fuck.
4.
Did they say why?
I'm guessing it's because I was parked in a safe space and I wasn't in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, okay.
No, but Nationwide, my insurance carrier, did have a follow-up with me about the roadside assistance, and I told them it took 4 hours to get a tow truck, and they're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. And then they sent me a $25 gift card, so huzzah.
You cracked the code.
Well, sure, that's a whole $8.25 an hour that they gave me for waiting for my car. Still don't have it back, by the way.
I will say that Nationwide, they are, when it comes to claim service, amazing.
They are on your side.
Yeah, they're pretty dope.
Meanwhile, in Kentucky, a bald Kentucky man caused a disturbance at a salon after he asked a worker if she, quote, had a product to bring his hair back, and she told him no. That's when Jeffrey Trent, who's 46, was arrested after allegedly causing a disturbance inside the salon. 25 miles west of Lexington, as detailed in a court citation. The 6'3", 250-pound Trent walked into Frame Clinic and Gallery around 10:40 a.m. and asked about, quote, a product to bring his hair back, end quote. An employee at the salon, which also doubles as an art gallery, because of course it does, in a frame shop, told Trent that no such magic potion was available. At this point, Trent became belligerent and created a disturbance inside the business. He was subsequently arrested on a misdemeanor disorderly conduct charge. Trent, whose hair color is listed as bald in police and jail records, was booked into the Shelby County Detention Center. In an unrelated case, he's facing charges for arson, criminal mischief, and violating a protective order, because of course he is.
Oh man.
Whereas Neil Diamond needs to write a Kentucky Man song. I'm just saying.
Is Mitch McConnell from Kentucky?
He is.
Yes. He is.
He's got the most punchable face.
And so is Rand Paul.
Equally as punchable.
Yeah, yeah, both punchable.
Ask his neighbor. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It was Rand Paul that got punched, huh?
Tackled by his neighbor.
There was a movie made in 1985 called The Peanut Butter Solution. I don't know if any of you remember it, but it was about a kid whose mom had died, and he got scared and went bald, and some old witch showed him this peanut butter solution that would grow hair on his head, and then he ended up putting on his balls, and he grew a bunch there too. But the whole premise was that this hair solution then put these kids in the underground where they started getting farmed for their hair. It's a really weird thing. Anyway, I feel like this guy could have used that, or at least seen the movie and see what happens when you go against God and start growing your own hair.
He's the right age for it too. Yeah,
it doesn't go well.
Yeah.
We haven't talked a lot about coronavirus, but I'm sorry. After a swingers convention in New Orleans, 41 people have tested positive.
Just for COVID?
Yeah, at least 41. Well, they don't release anything else. At least 41 people who attended the swingers gathering in New Orleans back in November have tested positive for coronavirus. One of the attendees was hospitalized in serious condition, but has since been released. Now, Bob Hannaford, the organizer of the annual Naughty and Nollin swingers gathering, Ian's writing that down right now. Michelle!
I know where we're going next year.
Right? Most of the cases were asymptomatic or very mild. He said, if I could go back in time, I would not produce this event again, he wrote in a blog post. I wouldn't do it again if I knew then what I know now. It weighs on me and will continue to weigh on me until everyone is 100% better. Now, Naughty and Nollins was much smaller this year with more restrictions, and while some 2,000 attended last year...
What restrictions do you put on at a swingers party? Like, hey guys, listen.
Doggy style only.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, listen,
ATM ATM with masks only.
Yeah.
See, they had masks.
Yeah. Only from behind.
I like that at an event where like one of the biggest risks is gonorrhea, COVID is where they draw the line. You know, like you could walk away with all sorts of infectious diseases, but not COVID. No.
Well, it's hardly the first instance of an outbreak linked to a gathering in Louisiana, although a huge number of cases in Louisiana have complicated tracing outbreaks. The Louisiana Department of Health says it's tied 508 cases to bars, 238 to casinos, 251 to restaurants, 66 to social events, and 57 cases to weddings, which, by the way, people of Facebook who are on there claiming that because some woman in Southern California is mad because her restaurant has to shut down while the movie place next door is able to cater into their people. I feel for you. I really do. But you don't know the people on the movie set if they're getting tested every day and they're having rapid testing. You don't know what their protocols are, and you don't know what the people coming to your restaurant would be doing either. And to all of the people arguing, well, you know, most of the cases are tied back to social gatherings. There are not many tied to restaurants. Yes, there are. There are a ton tied to restaurants and bars. So shut the fuck up. Just shut up.
I'm literally looking at my neighbors now and going, I will eat your ass.
I mean, that the unofficial theme.
I think it's like you're 5 times more likely to contract in a bar or restaurant than any other place. Or a bar, restaurant, and gym, I think is like 5 times higher than any other spot. Right?
Yeah.
Next to being at your house with people that aren't in your immediate family. Like, it's so fucking ridiculous. Like, oh man. Like I said, like I have 3 family members, my dad and then 2 sisters. Last week I pretty much called them Nazis. So to be fair,
and I wonder why they didn't call to wish you a happy birthday.
But I mean, at the same time, like none of them are taking any precautions when it comes to COVID-19, and like are openly like posting and shit, like and complaining. Like my sister posted a picture. Like I got upset, like, as I wasn't gonna say, "Fuck it, dude, fuck all of it," but she posted, "You do not fucking do this. If you're going to post about how you're being taken advantage of or how somebody's talking shit about your kids, don't have the first picture before that be of them in the place without their masks on. So on the next picture, you say that somebody admonished them because they took a bite of their yogurt and had their mask down. Sorry, like go fuck yourself. Like really, that's fucking ridiculous. Like the kids didn't have their masks on before that. Like they didn't have it on. So they should have had it on. So you're being first of all, you're being a bad mom. I mean, she was being a bad mom by supporting Trump also, you know what I mean? Like you want to tell your 2 boys that like, that's the type of man you want to be, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, anyhow, I'm sorry.
Has anybody taken a COVID test yet?
My wife has taken 3 tests. She's had to do 3 tests.
Yeah, my wife has been tested multiple times because anytime you go in for a medical thing, you have to get tested before they'll let you in to do it.
That's what I was going to say. I had a retinal reattachment surgery 3 weeks ago, and before they let me go back to get it reattached, they were like, "Take your COVID test first," and they were back within 15 minutes. You're good to go. But you know, I guess there's 2 types now. I didn't have the really invasive one. Mine was a real quick swab on both sides. They didn't tickle my brain like they say, but you know, I don't know. To me, it's just the simplest, like everybody always uses the whole, you know, they're taking away our freedoms and, you know, you take chances every day when you're in a car. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, well, people lobbied and spent millions to get seatbelts in cars. I know because my grandfather was a lobbyist for GM. He was part of the reason why cars were mandatory to have seatbelts in them. Not that you had to wear them, but he was part of that way back in the day. I think I have some old reel-to-reel tapes of him talking to people when he was lobbying for that. But they spend millions on crosswalks and street lights, but your line in the sand is a $5 mask.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
I want to know who you were fighting that detached your retina. Did Michelle detach your retina? That's my question.
Man, I was laying on the couch watching John Oliver, and I felt a little, I didn't even really feel a pop. You just kind of hear an internal pop, and then the right side of my right eye just grew these little black vines that grew all the way across my eye. Like I couldn't see anything except it was like looking through Mike Tyson's face tattoo is what it was like on my face.
So Michelle popped you in the eye because you was watching Brazzers too much.
Yes. Yes. She didn't pop me in the eye. I was just too into it.
Well, see, that sounds like it sounds like a strain injury to me. Like you were trying to really rip out a good fart and then just had that pressure build up.
Well, you know, now because of Rudy Giuliani, you have to be careful when you fart because apparently farting is like one of the big symptoms of COVID now. Twice in a row, you may have COVID.
That's true.
That worries me.
Florida, land of enchantment.
I guess
and
horrible yesterday.
Crazy shit. This is Florida Corner.
All right, we got to hurry. We're tremendously late, but that's fine. After being placed in shackles due to some alleged drunken dumbassery, a Florida collegian told cops that being restrained, quote, gets me off, and then requested someone, quote, pinch my nipples. That's according to the arrest report. Now, cops allege that Joseph Lancaster, who's a 22-year-old University of South Florida student, caused a disturbance early Sunday after refusing to pay an $820 bill at a St. Petersburg night spot. Jason is tickled by this. That's what he's into. After Lancaster argued with security guards, his friends stepped in and paid the bar tab. Lancaster, stumbling and slurring his words, then began shouting, "I'm sorry none of you graduated high school, but fuck you." Now, upon being detained, he didn't stop, adding, "Fuck you, pussy," and "Bro, this is fucked." When the police transport van arrived, Lancaster even argued with the van driver. The defendant had to be placed in shackles and stated, "This gets me off." I'm gonna have to do it. "This gets me off." And then he said, "Pinch my nipples."
Drunk or sexy, I want to be your big spoon.
Right. He was charged with disorderly intoxication, booked into the county jail, which released the next morning after posting a $100 bond. He was also arrested back in June for DUI, where he was freed on $500 bond, and that case is pending. So that is coming up. Also in Florida, and this one's for you, Kareem, after punching a cab driver in the face, an intoxicated Florida man jumped out of the taxi, began dancing in the street, and screaming, "I'm Rick James, bitch." He was not, in fact, Rick James. According to the arrest affidavit, Paul Kijik, who's 50, left a St. Petersburg bar around 4:15 a.m.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
He's the whitest dude I've ever seen.
He really is.
Excuse me. I'm Rick James, bitch.
He was kept from driving by multiple witnesses due to his level of intoxication. When the cops subsequently showed up at the back bar, they called for a taxi, which Kijik entered. However, he began yelling at the driver and then allegedly punched him in the face as the car pulled out of the parking lot. Kijik cops say then jumped out of the vehicle and began dancing in the street, screaming obscenities to include "you white motherfuckers" and "I'm Rick James, bitch."
He just stole all my lines, huh?
Right? The 6'3", 300-pound Kijik, who lives less than 2 miles from the bar, was then arrested for battery and disorderly intoxication. Both misdemeanors. He was not cited for what is surely a terrible Dave Chappelle imitation. He was released the next morning after posting $600 bond. So, thankfully, he's out. And that's what's happening in Florida.
Pardon me. I'm Rick James, bitch. You white motherfucker. That's Rick James, bitch.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yep.
He was feeling himself for sure.
Florida. Yep, that's it. All right.
Yeah, this owned y'all.
We are going to end on a happy note, but before we do, Ian, what is your website again if people want some metal cut?
Oh, damn. On Facebook, it's Ian Made Stuff. I couldn't think of a clever name when I got my table. And so I just said, I make stuff. Ian Made Stuff. That's what I called it.
There you go.
And then on Amazon, it's My Metal Hangers. I really appreciate the plug. That's very awesome of you. Truth be told, I am slammed right now. It's a really good time to cut metal. It's everybody right now is hitting me up for little Timmy and little Sarah's dancing and cheerleading medals. And so actually, when I'm done here, I'm going straight back to the garage. I took a shower for this, and I used and another conversation for another time. But pomade over hair gel all day long. But after this, I have to go get dirty again.
There you go.
Yeah.
So put your Valentine's Day orders in now with Ian.
For 2022, no 2021.
Some MLK Day hangers. So let's end with some happy news. And there's nothing happier than a wedding. And a Kazakhstani bodybuilder has now married a sex doll after a whirlwind romance. Easy for me to say. Proving that love is blind and sometimes kooky, a bodybuilder from Kazakhstan has tied the knot with his dearly beloved, which is a sex doll he dated for 8 months before proposing a year ago. I mean, you want to be sure.
You got to make sure that you have, similar philosophies when it comes to finances and child rearing,
Clad in a black tux and bow tie, Yuri Tolchoko is seen planting a gentle kiss on Margot, who appears a bit stiff in her revealing white gown as she clutches a bouquet of flowers and stares into the distance. I bet that's all she does. The couple shared a romantic first dance in front of dozens of guests who shared in the traditional ceremony, which was shared on Instagram. That's reported by The Sun, by the way. It's happened to be continued, the actor and bodybuilder wrote after slipping a ring onto his bride's finger. The unconventional couple got engaged in December 2019 when the bald, blue-eyed hunk, who describes himself as a sexy maniac, popped the question.
I mean, does she get to say no?
Well, in one post of them working out together, he wrote, "Couples need to talk less and connect more. With time and experience, Margot and I realized it takes more than words to have a conversation."
She only knows one word, and it's like that the whole time. Never moves.
Well, because he likes to share, he added he also enjoys BDSM, bondage and discipline, domination and submission, sadism and masochism. He says, "I love being tortured. I can endure a lot of pain. I love to dominate too. Margot is capable of what other people are not capable of."
And that's never saying I love you.
She never uses her safe word. It's phenomenal.
Right. Now
she tortures me. She never talks to me ever. The pain I just can't endure.
The cold shoulder.
She's never turned me down for butt stuff.
That's true.
Funny enough.
Never. Not once. Now, the only requirements for a wedding to take place in Kazakhstan are that both consenting partners have to be male and female and over 18, with no mention of whether dolls are included. I mean, is the doll 18? That's a good
question.
Right? It really is.
Does it come with a birth certificate like a Cabbage Patch doll used to back in the day? Because if that's the case, I mean, you have clear-cut paper proof that that's a legal marriage.
Yeah. I will say this. I'm looking at the story in the dailystar.co.uk, and there's a photo of Yuri squatting on a rock with her sitting next to him. And he's got some very pinchable nipples, so maybe he and the guy from Florida should check each other out. Just have a little... Yeah. Yes, what's she going to say? No?
Nope.
That's all there is.
As Ian said, you just say,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yep. It's a bad time, but congratulations to the happy couple, I guess. I
can't wait for Mannequin 3 to come out.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Was it Estelle Getty that was in number 2?
Oh, I'm sure.
I think Estelle Getty was the mall manager or something in that one. Why do I know that? Why do I know what Estelle Getty was in? Jesus Christ! I'm so sorry, guys. How do I know what Estelle Getty was in?
She was in Stop where my mom would shoot. Right, that was her.
Yes,
is that Estelle Getty? Yeah,
with Sylvester Stallone. That's the only one I know.
See, that's the only one I know too. So I mean, you're not that bad, bro. I mean,
all right.
That's all. That's all. All right. Well, that's it. We're out of show. So, oh God, we went almost an hour and a half. So there you go. It's a very long episode. This is why we don't have guests, because we'll just keep going.
I had a lot of fun though, guys. Sincerely, like thanks for I didn't know you didn't do guests a lot, and I know I kept hounding you, and I appreciate you opening the door and letting me in. And Jason, if I could talk to you sometime about improv, down here in Modesto, I'm in an oasis of not a whole lot of theater. We have a couple claims to fame. We have Jeremy Renner, and then is from here, and then Robert Ulrich is a name that you may not know, but he. Do you know Robert Ulrich?
Spencer, right? Spencer for Hire. Was that Robert Ulrich?
That's Robert Urich.
Robert Ulrich is a casting director. He cast Glee. He did the Glee project.
Okay.
And I also do the Modesto Valley Talent Project. He's a co-judge with me. But we don't have anything else down here for that. And I've always wanted to get into improv. So maybe sometime you and I can connect, or all three. I would love to learn more about what you guys do in that arena.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for 15 years, so that's my passion.
Okay, never mind, not you, Nate. Tell me about you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would. I've been part of. I was part of the one that started here, Sacramento Comedy Spot, when that began, and then in San Diego, I happened to be part of one that started up there too. So we can talk. Hit me up on Facebook.
Thank you very, very much. That'd be fantastic. And thank you guys for letting me come on. I had a lot of fun. I really did. This lockdown's been a killer. So
right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ian. Ian Riley, the co-host of Madden and Riley on KHOP 95.1 FM. If you're in the Central Valley, check them out in the morning, and it'll sound just like this because he's going to be doing it from his garage. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Darling New Media, here to help you tell your story.